who do you have? Who do you think's going to win in the big fight in July that was just announced today?
Man, this is really a true toss-up for me because I feel like Terence Crawford is he's got so much dog in him, you know. He's got so much dog in him, and he's so technical as well, and he can switch righty and lefty. I mean, no, I don't think there's really been a fighter like Terence Crawford in a long time. You know, he's like a lengthy Marvin Hagler, you know, which is insane. Or he's like a combination of Leonard, not with the footwork. He doesn't move, but he gets out fast punches. He turns his body real good, and he can switch lefty to righty.
Yeah.
For me, it's insane, you know. But Errol Spence he's physically so strong, and he's patient, and he keeps his distance good, and he knows how to break a fighter down with pressure when he's really not doing that much at all going forward. It's just that sense of danger of his power, you know, it keeps people nervous and it drains them mentally. So it's a super interesting matchup, man.
So if somebody puts a gun to your head and says, choose one, who are you going for?
I'm gonna have to go with Spence. I'm gonna have to go
Okay.
with Spence.
Okay. Okay. No, I mean, I agree. I was talking about this with somebody today. It is such an even matchup, right? Like this, which is why I think we're so excited because they're both knockout. They both have power. They both can fight, and they're so evenly matched. Like, so everybody's on the edge of their seats. I think it's a lot like Hagler Hearns. I think that's what made Hagler Hearns. Is before your time, but I'm sure you've seen the fight. Or when Roy Jones fought James Toney.
Yeah.
I don't know if people, because no, it was so split down the middle. But one thing I realized today, and I don't know if this will mean anything. Tell me what you think, but Bud has more knockouts than Spence has total fights. Do you think that mean something?
I mean, it's definitely worth something, but you know, it's like I'm undefeated. No, I'm not even gonna say that.
No,
No, no,
say
no.
it. Say it.
Nah, nah,
Say it.
nah.
Say it.
See, but no, but listen. Well, you know what? I think it comes down to, and it always comes down to the who has better defense. And I know Terence Crawford. Maybe it's because he knows that you know these guys aren't gonna hurt him. That sometimes he gets caught, but he's coming forward in the middle of exchanges. But I know that Errol Spence is a little bit more like defense, or, you know, a little more savvy with his defense, and he has that nice guard that he can block a couple punches and then counter with one strong or two strong ones, you know, and that'll break a guy down. I think it's how if Terence Crawford is more technical, I think he can win. But but if he decides to trade and you know and Errol Spence decides to catch and then hook and then do things like that, I think it could be dangerous for Crawford.
Hmm.
So I think it depends on what approach he takes.
Right, what they're gonna
Right.
bring. Right. Yeah. It's. I'm excited, man. I know. I know Spence's trainer. Pretty. We've talked to him a bunch of times. But I don't know anybody on Bud's side. So, but I'm not going. I'm not going for anybody specifically. I just want to see a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to
Good.
choose, I think I would lean towards Bud. I think.
Yeah.
I think so because I feel like Bud has more tools. But I was talking to Derek James, right, who is Spence's trainer, and I go, well, Bud switches up his styles, and Spence kind of fights one way. And then Derek goes, well, how's he fight? And I thought about it. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, he fought one way against Ugas, but he fought another way against somebody. So he kind of pointed out, like, he fights differently, too. It just depends on who he's standing in front of. Whereas Bud, I feel like, is constantly switching around in every match. He's like, he'll switch up. He'll do different things throughout the fight, whereas Spence comes in and fights a specific style for the whole fight, but does it differently. So,
Exactly. I
yeah.
know I know that there were some very interesting rounds, very competitive rounds in the beginning of like Gamboa and Crawford. You know, even though we saw what ended up happening, Crawford ended up doing the job exactly as he needed to do. But in those moments of getting caught, it's possible that Errol Spence could catch him. But you could say the same thing about me. You know, I fight with my hands down. I'm awkward. I'm southpaw. I use angles, and sometimes I get caught with some punches that I shouldn't have. But then again, I know that I can do that against these fighters. I would never dream of doing anything crazy like that against. I'll have a much more measured, much more cautious approach depending on the person, you
I'm
know.
glad you said that because a lot of people who've never fought don't understand. Like I used to fight with my hands down too because we, as fighters, as long as you're not, as long as you have any amount of brains on you, you're doing certain things because you know you can. You're not going to do something that you know somebody will catch on to or make you pay for it. You know what I mean? Because like the number one criticism would be like, "Oh, his hands are always down. You better not do that with blah blah blah." It's like, yeah, well, I won't. You
Yeah,
know, neither would you.
exactly.
Yeah.